Justine, I'm sure you're pleased that education is defended from the real term cuts. In fact, there's an extra 2.3 billion a year for schools over the next 2 years, which a lot of people will be pleased to see. Were you surprised, though, that there was no cut to capital investment? I mean, the money for Northern Powerhouse Rail, for HS2, East West Rail, that's still there. Should it be, given the enormity of what Sanjay's just set out?
I think this is the political balancing act that Jeremy Hunt has tried to achieve. He's had to satisfy the markets and almost address this short-term concern on the fiscal risks around Britain, as we've just heard. But at the same time, he needs to keep his backbenchers on line as well, and also to deliver on this mandate of levelling up. And so what I think he was trying to do was try and achieve both of those things. It's good news that we saw more money for education. I think looking forward, though, the government is going to have to do more on that levelling up front to flesh out what its agenda is really going to be and how it's going to deliver it. And I think whilst perhaps there was some good news in this autumn statement today that perhaps hadn't been trailed, most of it had in terms of the bad news. I think once we get into the winter and into the spring, some of those public spending constraints are really going to bite. And so I think there'll be a political debate around how the government navigates through not just the next 6 months and beyond. And of course, for businesses in particular, although we saw households given an additional 12 months of support on energy prices, actually for businesses, that support runs out in April, and there was no announcement about what comes on after that. So I think there are still some questions, but I'm sure if you're Jeremy Hunt tonight and the Treasury team, they'll be pleased, I think, with how this has landed, because broadly, I think it's been reported for what it is, which is a tough budget with some difficult decisions. It didn't pull any punches. There'll be some stuff in the small print that comes out. But overall, it's achieved its aim of satisfying the markets that the Treasury is more back in control of public finances, even though those headwinds are still there.